Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cactus Cult. So I am a little late with this update. We're actually at about week 6 now, but I didn't want to skip showing you what had happened over the last couple weeks. After removing the domes, I started noticing some of the seedlings turning red and drying out. I ended up putting the domes back on at nights, and I added a 15-watt grow bulb to add additional light. In the meantime, I did have them by the south-facing window, but I think that was too much light. So what I did was I've put the curtain down, and I also keep the back door shade completely drawn. So now the only light they should be getting should be that 15-watt grow bulb. And I'm also managing how I'm dealing with the environment. So today we're going to go back through what happened to see how these seedlings are doing and figure out which species are actually thriving. As you can see by these seedlings in front of us, they are red, which is indicating that they are stressed. Compared to last week, they were a lot, or last update, they were a lot more green. Um, and I noticed that they were getting very red, and I wasn't sure if it was drying out because the soil was drying out quickly, and I didn't really give them a lot of time to acclimate slowly. So, like I said, I've been putting the domes back on at night, and then instead of going full light from the back door, which does have heavy shade, I've switched it to just giving that 15-watt bulb during the day. So, like I said, last update was week 4. We're at week 6 now. I was late to getting the video filmed. I apologize. I appreciate you guys coming and checking in. Um, and rather than skipping the update, I wanted to cover, even though it's been a rough last couple weeks and things haven't been looking that good, I wanted to, like I said, share not only my successes but the journey along the way. As far as the overall 6 week setup, what we do now is I keep the domes on all night, sometimes part of the day. It depends on how dried they're looking. Um, and then like I said, I keep the back curtain closed now, and I just have that 15-watt grow bulb over both of my pots, so it should be more than enough light. Um, Slowly, I want to get them more and more acclimated outdoors, but I think that that's still a couple months away. That's why I've started to reincorporate the domes and kind of lower the light intensity as well, because I think they just weren't ready for being next to the back door with so much light and being so dried out all day, or as much as they were from the being out of the domes. Overall, like I said, I've noticed the red coloration, the drying out. They seem to be shrinking, less plumping. I noticed that they seem to not be growing as fast. I probably stunted the growth on these, but again, this is my first time, so it is what it is. I think that they're still going to be able to recover. It's just going to be a little bit of a slow start. This is why I'm really glad I'm documenting this series. On paper, removing the dome seemed like the logical next step because of the issues I was having with the mold and fungus, but the plants started telling me they weren't ready. That's why I'm going to make sure we keep the humidity high, at least overnight for sure. And like I said, I keep the domes on part of the day as well. We want to make sure they're not evaporating too quickly. light intensity was obviously too much, so I've made sure to lower that immediately. We'll see how they respond over the next couple weeks. And the overall environmental transition, um, being next to the back door, like I said, I've closed the curtain now, so there's not as much light. We're all depending on the factors of it's mostly just indoor environment, the grow light and the ambient temperature around us. I did notice that the different species have responded differently. Most of the Copiopoas and the Astrophytums look really good. It's like the Gymnocalyciums and stuff like that. I noticed that they haven't appreciated those conditions as much. It's definitely not one definite cause. I think that it's a combination of things that's causing the redness and the slower growth and stuff like that. But we'll continue to monitor it over the next couple of weeks. We could do a moisture check, but I did just water them yesterday, so they should be good. They feel nice and heavy too. You can tell once you pick them up. Like I said, at first when I took the domes completely off, they were drying out pretty quick, both the surface and the whole pot. Since I put the domes back on, I noticed that the rate has definitely decreased in which the water fully evaporates. They last longer. It's just easier to monitor as well. You don't have to, stay on top of them as much. So all in all, at the 6-week progress mark, the Astrophytums right here we see in front of us, I feel like they had the highest germination rate overall. They also seem to be growing the fastest. But again, these are another one that I've noticed that some have started to turn red and they become less plump. So again, we're going to monitor the issues and continue to try to get them to recover and see how they do over the next few weeks. Since removing the domes initially, I have not had any issues with mold, algae, fungus, or any damping off. That's why I said it seemed like it was a logical step to do that. I think that it kind of stressed the plants out a little bit too much, and that's why I'm currently trying to find that happy medium for now. I'll dial it in, and we'll figure out what works, and I'll go with that for a while. All in all, we want enough humidity to prevent stress, but enough airflow to prevent problems. So that's where finding a balance of taking the domes off and keeping them on for however many hours is. We'll figure it out. Over the last couple weeks, like I said, I haven't really noticed a major size difference. The color differences I noticed is them some turning red, but definitely we do have some spine development. I've noticed on a lot of them that there's a decent amount of spines growing. So, they are growing, just not very fast, and they're not plumping up yet. So we'll have to monitor them with these new conditions and see how they go. I haven't seen any just die off over the last 2 weeks either. Just like I noticed some of them looking stressed and shriveled. We made the corrections, and I noticed that some that were looking really bad actually kind of bounced back a little bit. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation and see how it goes. Again, the different species responded differently. We've got Astrophytums and Copiopoas that look great still, so they didn't turn red or anything. And then we have other species, the Ariocarpus, that just really did not like it at all. So they turn completely red and look like they haven't really grown much over the last 2 weeks at all. So the plan for the next couple weeks is we're just going to continue to monitor the seedlings, mostly the red ones, make sure that green coloration starts to come back. We're going to keep using the domes at night for now and see how it goes, partially during the day as well. I'm going to continue to use the 15 watt supplemental light bulb with the back shade closed completely to just rely on that and see how they continue to bounce back. We're going to monitor the moisture, uh, watch for any type of stretching. I doubt there will be anything like that. I think that they'll recover before we see them try to stretch. But then again, we will monitor the ones that are doing fine, and we're gonna continue to gradually acclimate them to when they're ready to be out of the domes completely. Um, I'm not gonna remove the domes just yet because it's only week 7, week 8. Um, I'm gonna remove them when the seedlings say they're ready this time. So we'll see. So that's where we're at. We're at week 6. This update was a little late, and we've already had a few unexpected challenges. But honestly, that's what makes growing them from seed so interesting. Um, you can have a plan going into it, but the plants don't always follow the plan. Um, the goal now is to get these seedlings stronger. I'd like to get them to bounce back, figure out which, what each species responds to, and keep documenting the journey. Um, these tiny plants have a long way to go, but we're 6 weeks in and the journey is just getting started. Join the cactus cult. Grow, collect, cultivate.